When Amelia said goodbye with misty eyes, as if she was prepared to walk out and never come back, every fiber of Javier's being told him to stop her and tell her to stay. Not just by him, but with him. But as he watched her figure descend the stairs, and he told himself to take back the harsh words he didn't mean, his pride got the better of him, and he let her walk away. Why should I bother asking her to stay? If she is so intent on leaving, she can go. With that thought, he turned coldly and walked away in the opposite direction. It wasn't until the door to Javier's study slammed shut with a deafening bang that Amelia, who was making her way down the stairs, felt her strength give out. Her legs buckled, and she caught herself on the railing before she fell down. Amidst the stumble, tears broke their way through and streamed down her cheeks. Mr. Grant met her at the bottom of the steps, and it broke his heart to see her so sad. He held her in high regard and felt she was a bright presence in Prince Calderon's life. He noticed the suitcase in her hand and frowned. "Miss Rivera, are you going somewhere?" She used the back of her hand to wipe her tear-stained cheek. "I won't be coming back for a while. My friend is badly injured in the hospital, so I'm going to see to his care." The butler was taken aback. No wonder why the prince's mood had been so grim all morning. Sir Max will certainly be heartbroken when he finds out you won't be home for a while." Amelia smiled with an unspoken sadness. "I'll explain it to him. Thank you for all of your help, Mr. Grant." "My pleasure, Miss Rivera. I know I speak for everyone here when I say I look forward to your return." The truth was, she probably wouldn't be returning to the villa ever again, not as a resident. This fight with Javier proved that she couldn't rely on this place to be her home forever. She was better off getting out now before she got too attached. Not just to the estate, but to the people there. She needed to find a new place to stay, and once she settled elsewhere, she and Javier would need to have a proper discussion about the custody of their child and how Max would split his time between them. She just hoped the powerful prince wouldn't railroad her on the matter when the time came. When Amelia returned to the hospital, Charles was still in surgery. She placed her luggage in his room and waited quietly outside the operating hall with his parents. Javier's words echoed endlessly in her mind. "Run away with him for all I care. This house doesn't need you." The memory of his cruel dismissal churned in her chest, making her head pound and her heart ache even more. Her gaze drifted downward, dull and unfocused, and she got lost in a daze. "Amelia, Amelia, can you hear me?" Charles's mother called her twice. Amelia jolted back to reality. "Oh, sorry, what's wrong?" "Charles is out of surgery," his mother informed her. Charles's doctor emerged from the operating room with a relaxed expression. Amelia followed his parents as they approached the doctor. The doctor removed his mask and addressed Charles's parents. "The surgery went smoothly. With proper rest and recovery, Mr. Dawson should be back to full health soon." "Oh, thank goodness." Charles's mother clasped her hands in prayer, relief washing over her. "Thank you, Doctor. We truly appreciate it," his father said, shaking the doctor's hand. Standing a few feet from everyone, Amelia felt a weight lift off her shoulders. Knowing Charles would be okay, she finally allowed herself to exhale. That night, when Faith arrived home from work, she was unlocking her door when the hallway light flickered on and illuminated a small figure squatting by her entranceway. "Ah, Amelia, geez, you scared me half to death," Faith exclaimed. Amelia stood and brushed off the dust from her clothes. "Ah, thank God you're home. The mosquitoes were making a meal out of me." She helped Amelia up. "Why didn't you call me? How long have you been waiting?" "No, not long. I didn't want to rush you." Faith opened the door and ushered her inside. Her eyes immediately fell on the suitcase Amelia was carrying.
What's all this?
Would you mind if I stayed here for a few days? Amelia said, setting her bag down.
Of course not, Ames. But what's going on? Is everything okay?
Amelia didn't respond. Instead, she made her way to the kitchen and poked her head into the fridge. Have you eaten dinner yet? Faith shook her head no. I'll make us some pasta, Amelia offered, her voice softening. After a brief pause, she added quietly, tomorrow I need to look for a new place to stay. Do you know if there are any rentals in your complex? Faith leaned against the counter, watching her friend.
Did something happen?
Amelia stirred the pot of boiling water, and her eyes seemed sad and distant. I just realized that's not my home. I'll have to leave eventually. It's better to detach myself now, before I get too used to it. Faith folded her arms, her gaze narrowing.
Did you and Javier have a fight?
Amelia hesitated, then nodded before shaking her head again. We did argue, but my choice to move out isn't just because of that.
Then what is it?
Amelia stopped stirring, taking a moment before replying. The other night at his birthday party, you saw him dancing with Paloma, right? Faith pressed her lips into a line.
I did.
Amelia smiled faintly. Everyone knows the rumors about their engagement. He doesn't deny or confirm them, but it's clearly only a matter of time before it happens. And if it isn't Paloma, it'll eventually be some other heiress or princess or high society lady that matches his political status. Faith comfortingly rubbed her friend's back, and a small tear rolled down Amelia's cheek. I'd rather not stay there and wait to be asked to leave. I'll just get too attached to the place. It's better I go now on my own terms. Faith joined Amelia in preparing the food. She cut onions and vegetables.
Amelia, is it the house you're afraid of getting attached to, or is it maybe Javier?
Amelia's heart clenched, and she turned to look at her friend, who knew her too well. Faith sighed before adding,
'Cause I'm sorry to tell you, babe, but I think it's too late. You like him.
Despite herself, more tears started to fall down Amelia's face. That's irrelevant. I'm just a nuisance in his life. He doesn't want me there.
Hey, your feelings are relevant, and there's no way that's true. I've seen how he looks at you. The prince cherishes you.
Amelia's brow furrowed in pain, and she spoke softly. Me and how many other women? Faith frowned.
Well, I guess I can't speak to that. I can only comment on what I've seen. But I have been thinking lately. I forgot how fragile hearts can be and how hard it can be to heal once it's been broken. Maybe I shouldn't have pushed you towards the prince so frivolously. You're my friend, and I don't want to see you hurt.
Amelia looked at her friend and noticed a melancholy in her eyes she hadn't seen before. Faith, what's wrong? If I didn't know any better, I'd think you're the broken-hearted one. Faith smiled bitterly and looked away. Amelia squeezed her hand. Hey, talk to me. Did something happen to you? Faith looked down and exhaled before saying,
Back when you first met me, do you remember what a wreck I was over a guy who basically ruined my heart for all other guys?
Amelia thought for a second. His name was Manny, right?
Right. Well, turns out I'm not over him. And in an unfortunate turn of events, not only has he crashed back into my life, but you went and made him my godson's godfather.
Flabbergasted, Amelia froze as she registered what Faith told her. Wait, Oh, wait, are you saying that your Manny, is Dr. Manuel? Faith gave Amelia a pained grin. Destiny had a cruel sense of humor. Oh, Faith, I am so sorry. I had no idea.
It's not your fault. I worked very hard to scrub every trace of him from my life. How could you have known?
Amelia put the ladle down and turned off the stove. New plan. Pasta is not going to cut it tonight. We need tequila. After Amelia left the villa, Javier couldn't stay still. So he had his driver take him to the office, where he buried himself in work through the night. He was desperate to keep his mind occupied. But on a loop in his head was Amelia's wounded goodbye. He had no intention of returning to the villa that night. It would only remind him of her and the fact that she wasn't there. To make matters worse, Victor just informed him that Charles requested a week of leave from work. Were they so smitten that they needed that much time together? Not that he could blame the man. If he could lock himself up with Amelia for 7 days straight, he would. As Javier stood by the floor-to-ceiling window and stared at the city lights, he felt hollow. What was she doing tonight? Would she ever come back? Just then, his phone notified him of a text and interrupted his thought. For a moment, hope flickered in his chest. Could it be her? He quickly unlocked the phone screen and looked for Amelia's name.
To find out what happens next, download the Pocket FM app in the next minute to get free access to all episodes of The Royal Accident for free.